We are live. This is the Bros Before Elbows Pro Wrestling Podcast, version 4.2, season number 4, episode number 2. Taking some mini breaks in between here and that, having some major malfunctions before the show started. So I'm using a different mic, just trying to get things up and rolling. This episode, to briefly tell you about it. We're spitballing. This is us just calling it in the ring. This is all audible. As you all know, we're kicking ass and taking names. And welcome to the show. Of course, your hosts, myself, Anthony, my brother Tommy, and our other brother from another mother, Theron T. Monies, who is Twitter machine, Twitter master, karate man. So we're going to kind of leave it up to him to kind of guide the show and see where we're going. So thanks for listening. Tell your friends about Bros Before Elbows. You can find us on iTunes. Subscribe. Check out our new Facebook banner. All that good stuff. So, Theron, take it away. What are we talking about today?
Well, it's been about, a month or so since our last podcast. People who are listening right now, check us out on YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. Bros Before the number 4 elbows. Let's go back a couple pay-per-views ago. We did miss Survivor Series, which I definitely think we should talk about it because they kind of made Survivor Series. They built it like bragging rights, which is an old pay-per-view they used to do back in the double brand days with like Smackdown versus Raw. So I think we should start off with that. Any reactions? Any feedback from it? Obviously, the main match was Lesnar versus Goldberg. Fantasy becomes reality. I'm sure people want to know what you guys think about that. So let's just get into it. Let's go with I'm trying to think of the matches from Survivor Series. We can start with the women's match. It was Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. What do you guys think? I want to say Team Raw won that match. It was Bayley and Charlotte that were the last two left, and then Charlotte beat Bayley up and left her, in the ring. Charlotte's become a great heel, by the way. Reactions, comments, feedback, anything?
Yeah, I thought that was going to lead to a Bayley versus Charlotte program, but then they went right back to Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, which I love. I think those two had the best chemistry of anyone in the women's division right now. But where does that leave Bayley? She's kind of like the third wheel right now, so I don't know what they're planning to do with that. And but I like the Charlotte Sasha Banks direction they're going to, and they're going to have another match on the pay-per-view. I guess they're going to have an Iron Woman match, they said, at Raw last night. So, I mean, that'd be cool whenever they do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused, too, because I was thinking that Bayley was going to beef with Charlotte. I think the reaction from most of the folks is, oh, my God, it's another freaking Charlotte versus Sasha Banks match, kind of like it's another Rollins versus KO match. It's another freaking forced Roman Reigns thing. So I really enjoy that the two, Sasha and Charlotte, can really hold it down. So whatever they throw their way, they can really work with. I just think it's being perceived now that they just have to finish and squash this feud. If you think about it, Charlotte's won 3 times. Sasha's won 3 times, and so now they have to just end it. And whoever wins this Iron Woman match should be top woman for a while. You know what I mean? And then I guess the next question is, does Charlotte then go on and feud with Bayley, or what does she do?
That's a good question. My thoughts on that match were the same thoughts as you guys. They've been talking about this Bayley versus Charlotte program that they want to do, but I think they're trying to save that for the road to WrestleMania. So this is what I think. I think defeated at pay-per-views and singles competition. So for whatever reason, she'll probably win at Roadblock, and that'll make her 6 or 7-0 in title matches. She's undefeated. So she'll win. And then they'll move on to a Bayley program, and that leads me to this question. What do you guys think about the hot potato title? Do you guys like that they're hot potatoing it so much? They've each won that title, I think, 3 times now, 2 or 3 times. Do you guys like that? Do you think that's like a little too much? Would you rather see one of them with the title for a longer time?
I kind of like it. I mean, I think it just shows how close they are. Like if you're listing like all their 10 best attributes on a paper, like it's kind of like 10 to 10. Like the score is like pretty even. It's like 99 to 100, going down to the final like 30 seconds of like an NBA game kind of thing. These Sasha Banks and Charlotte are like Charlotte Flair, two the best women in the WWE right now, and they're like really close together. So it's kind of like there's not much margin for error. So I kind of like that they're going back and forth. But I would like to see Charlotte lose on a pay-per-view because I know they're like talking about her having like a pay-per-view streak, how she's never lost on pay-per-view, so she's got called up to the main roster. I don't want them to drag that out too long and like focus too much attention on that. So I would like to see Sasha Banks get over at the end of this feud.
Oh, good answer. Anthony, what about you? What do you think about
the original question, which was I liked the women's match in Survivor Series. I thought that was good. But then to answer this question, they just need more women. I don't know. I just feel like it really does hang on the shoulders of Sasha and Charlotte. Could you repeat the question though? I was retweeting that we're live.
Great. I got to repeat a question that I forgot. No, I'm just joking. My question was, do you guys like the hot potatoing of the Raw Women's Championship?
Oh, got it. I'll jump in here real quick to answer that. It makes sense because it doesn't just it's not just dominated by one person. However, it's a double-edged sword because it's being dominated by two people. And again, I just don't think there's enough women in the division to like you can't just like throw it on Natalya, for no reason. You can't she's Smackdown. I don't know, man. I guess I mean it makes sense. I don't know. I'm smarky about it, so it's like it's good for business to make the title look cool and to make it look like it's being changing hands all the time. But then again, it's like it's just these two chicks that are fighting all the time for it, and I don't know. Whoever has it should have it for at least like 3 months, 4 months, or win the feud. I think so. But basically, my answer is stop hot potatoing. We get it. The title's great. It's cool. These women are wonderful. Just let Sasha keep it past Mania. Just let her be the title holder through Mania, through the Mania season.
But you don't this is my last question about the women. you don't like Charlotte the heel? Like she's an amazing heel. She's up there and healed them, like man or women. Like she's killing it.
A total beat.
She's been
that's her
exactly.
It's a total beat. And it's like I get it, but it's I don't know, it's kind of I don't want to say it's stupid, but it's like she's not as good as I want her to be. She doesn't really like do well with the crowd. Like the crowd, it seems like they kind of take over her and she lets it get to her and she kind of like forgets what she's doing and really trying to hold her ground. And I think she's getting better at it, but I just can't. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I kind of agree with that. She does kind of let it get to her too. She's kind of still kind of raw with that. I mean, her Bayley, Charlotte, the four horsewomen or whatever, Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha, and Becky, they're all still kind of like learning on the job. They're on these big like Raw feuds, and they just totally once they got called up, they passed by everyone else in the division, but they're still kind of like learning on the job. They're kind of like going back to other sports analogies, they're like really hot young rookies who start out strong, but they kind of have their ups and downs throughout the season, but they're still the most talented people on the roster right now as far as women go. You can't fall back, like you said, you can't fall back to Natalya or other people on Total Divas like Naomi or anyone like that, at least Alicia Fox. I mean, like these four women are so far above and beyond those people that even though they are learning on the job, it's kind of like you live with the growing pains that they're going through right now. And
I can't be that hard on them, and that's the thing. Like I can't be that hard on Charlotte, but at the same time, it's like I have to voice my true opinion, and I think she will get to the top level that we're expecting her to be at. But right now, it's she's transitioning, But I just think I don't know. I just want to add too that I thought it was kind of like a forced storyline for her to betray her dad
Yeah, I thought that was too soon. Yeah, I agree. That was kind of too soon. It was like I tweeted that out too. Like when Sasha Banks won the title on Raw in the Falls Count Anywhere match, like as soon as like 10 seconds after her music hits, like they interrupted with Ric Flair's music. I was like, okay. I mean, like that's cool that he came out there and like supported her, but like, dude, like let that moment like kind of like interrupting, like tossing Ric Flair, like 70-year-old Ric Flair right into the middle of the storyline. Like these two women are like they're so strong and they're so talented. They don't need like to have that extra like thing in here already. Like save that for like I don't know, a couple months or 6 or 10 months down the road when they're like running out of ideas. The story's too hot already. They don't need to have a Ric Flair involved. Darren, what do you think?
It's probably a Vinnie Mac call to do that.
Yeah.
It's in North Carolina. That's Ric Flair and Charlotte's hometown, so that was probably a Vinnie Mac thing. As far as the four horsewomen go, I agree with you guys. They're still like you can see the stories in the ring, like Charlotte, the way she reacts to the crowd, the way Bayley reacts to the crowd, the way Sasha reacts to the crowd, and then even Becky on SD Live, like they're still developing as they go, but that is the front. That's the forefront of the women's division. Those women are phenomenal athletes. So I expect them to figure it out and develop. And, you can't really fall back on like Nia Jax right now. She's not green, but she's still, raw like a Braun Strowman. SD Live though, new SmackDown Live Women's Champ. Shout out Alexa Bliss. That was awesome. But yeah, we'll get into that later on. Yeah. Spoiler alert. Anyway, let's move on to the next match, which was we'll just go into like your reaction to the tag team division. I don't even want to talk about the tag team division, but we're going to talk about it real quick. The SmackDown Live tag teams versus the Raw tag teams, and again. Raw wins. I want to say it was Sheamus and Cesaro that were the last two men remaining, which kind of forced their bond. So we'll just skip the tag team and we'll just talk about Sheamus and Cesaro. Do you like them as a tag team or do you not like that story?
I think it's forced.
Whoever wants to go first.
Wait. Oh, sorry.
Did you say it's forced?
Did I just roll over Tommy? Sorry, dude.
No, I had nothing to say about that. I have nothing to
say. It's forced. It's what do you do with Cesaro? What do you do with Sheamus? Okay, throw them together. Cool, I guess. I don't know. They really don't like each other. And it's like, how far can you drag that out? At some point there has to be some type of resolve.
Because I would really not like each other in like real life.
I don't know, but the fact that like, it's just a forced storyline. What do we do? I think the idea on paper sounds great. Like, oh man, they had a best of 7, and now they're forced to work together. Ooh, this could be cool. But they dragged it on for so long that they're such like that they really don't like each other in terms of the storyline. That it's like okay. I'm only getting 4 episodes before a pay-per-view, and it seems like they've used all like 2 months of them hating each other. And it's like at some point, and we get the little vignette of them in a bar fight, beating people up and drinking beer, and all that stuff. But I don't know. It's like at some point, like in the ring, let them come together and let them actually be a team versus forcing it down our throats that they're enemies.
I think they did come together on Raw this last Monday. I think they were kind of unified. They had like a number 1 contenders match with Anderson and Gallows, which I don't like the way they're booking Anderson and Gallows either. Like I can't tough badasses or they're like comic relief. That's where I think Raw teeters on the whole like entertainment versus like wrestling like that I don't like as an adult male. But anyway, yeah, it is a forced storyline, like Cesaro and Sheamus in a bar drinking a pint or whatever, and then they like get into a bar fight with obvious like NXT extras or they're probably independent wrestlers from Charlotte. That's what all the people that were in that bar fight look like guys that are from Charlotte. Like, I'm sorry, Charlotte, but that's what people out here look like. It's true. It's damn true. But that storyline is so it just doesn't make sense to me. Like 8 months ago, or maybe even a year, Sheamus was the world champion.
Yeah.
But I feel like Cesaro, I guess after what is his name? Tyson Kidd had a career-ending injury. They just didn't know what to do with Cesaro. So now I think they're just sticking him with Sheamus until his contract's up because he might leave. That's what I heard. Cesaro might be done.
That'd be kind of great. I mean, that's kind of interesting. I like to see him in New Japan or ROH or somewhere fresh, man. I don't know, because it feels like this is like the anti Banks and Charlotte. They have such great chemistry together. These two just don't have anything. I don't think they have any. I mean, even after 7 matches, which is kind of cool. I still don't feel like it does feel like it's forced. I think like Anthony said, it's on paper. Ooh, this is a great idea. They had the best of 7, which is kind of cool. They had some pretty good matches in that. Told a good story there. Let's team them up. But in practice, it's not coming across on TV very, from what I've seen at least.
No connection.
Yeah, there's no chemistry, man. It's like the dance partners and they're both stepping in each other's feet, it seems like. So it's just not it gets my thumbs down, not entertaining.
There were some tweets that Kenny Omega was trying to fit a shirt for Cesaro.
Oh man, if he came like part of the Bullet Club, oh god, that would be so cool. Oh, just mark it. Dude, that'd be so cool.
Wait, the Bullet Club? I heard Cody Rhodes is joining the Bullet Club.
Really?
You mean Cody?
He's gonna be the newest member.
Can't say Rhodes.
You can't say that
somehow. I just did. Said that. That's the American dream. Okay. Do we want to talk about the tag team match itself from Survivor Series, or should we just skip that? Do you guys care? I don't care.
No,
it doesn't.
I've already forgotten about it. No, it's not.
Okay. Cool. All right.
All I know is
so
I'm
on to
waiting
the
for
next
American
match.
Alpha to just go over and kick ass. That's my only comment.
Yeah, true. American Alpha needs to embrace their inner Steiner brother and step up, which they did do a Steiner brother finishing move, the Bulldog off the top rope. That was cool in the match. But anyway,
up like the Steiner
another
brothers,
match that was.
Yeah, they need Letterman jackets. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean
They
they're
need
already
Letterman
wearing
jackets. They need University of Michigan 1980s Letterman jackets.
I feel like we're just Mick Foley.
It's all over again.
Wait, what's happening there? What are we doing there?
Oh, I said
I didn't hear what Anthony said.
I said I feel like we're Mick Foleying Theron and just rolling over him.
He's like the commissioner, and he's trying to get his word in. His teeth fall out. It's tough. It's tough being the point guard, the quarterback.
Yeah, it's hard out here. Anyway, so let's move on to the next match. We'll just get into the Cruiserweight division, all that stuff that's going on. Brian Kendrick versus who did he fight at Survivor Series? Oh, Kalisto. Stupid storyline. So Brian Kendrick versus Kalisto was the match. If Kalisto won the Cruiserweight title and the entire division, all move over to SmackDown Live. If not, obviously it stays on Raw. Let's skip to the end. It doesn't have a finish because Baron Corbin interferes, which then leads to a thing of the storyline with Baron Corbin and Kalisto. How do you guys feel about the Cruiserweight division? First of all, that's my first question, and I'll get to my second one after that.
Okay, I'll go first. I mean, man, I like the Cruiserweight tournament with Daniel Bryan and Mauro Ranallo, and they were doing on the WWE Network. I thought it was really cool how they did the tournament, how they introduced everyone, and then when they brought it over to Raw, man, it just died a horrible death in front of that live crowd. When they changed the ropes to purple, it got all quiet and I don't know. It seems like all the Raw crowds do not know how to react to the Cruiserweights, man. It's just so weird, and they can't do their balls to the wall style because they would all get broken backs and tear their ACLs if they went crazy every week and week out. That's the problem with the WWE schedule is you can't do a luchador Cruiserweight style. It's not sustainable because they work 340 days a year, and you can't wrestle that many days a year and do that style. So I don't know. It's like oil and water right now. I like the Cruiserweights. They have a ton of talented people in there, but it's just weird when they change it over in Raw. They change the lights and they change everything. It's just, and the crowd's just not liking it. I don't know. It's got potential, but I was not digging the presentation so far.
You don't like Rick Swan or Rich Swan or Swanomics or whatever his name is?
Handle this. Boom, 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 boom. Dude, Rich Swann is a badass. But I will say this about the cruiserweights. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you that the execution is not there. The crowd reaction is not bought in. I'm confused mainly for the wrestlers that are in the cruiserweight division for 205 Live. One, if they're on Raw, that means you have a split roster.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that every dude shows up to Raw anyway, but you have some dudes that are showing up for the cruiserweight on Raw, but then it's filmed right after in the same city as SmackDown.
Huh. I didn't notice that, like a logistical hiccup.
So it's confusing me. So it would make sense that if Kalisto did win, that, okay, logistically, all the dudes are in the same city,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can do whatever they need. Maybe they're like, it makes sense to do it at SmackDown because it's 3 hours, and so instead of your audience being there for just 2 hours for the show, I don't know if they tape anything beforehand for SmackDown, but either way, it's like you can keep the crowd there longer. They could buy more merch, do whatever, hang out more, do that. But like, it would make sense if they moved the cruiserweights to SmackDown, but then they created 205 Live, and so it's kind of like, wait a second, are we not supposed to be invested now? That was my initial reaction too when I heard about 205 Live was, well, wait, so are the cruiserweights going away from Raw and SmackDown? Like, they're not going to be a part of the show because they're getting their own show. So am I supposed to really like this? Like, I like the wrestlers. I like the dudes. It's fresh faces and, a fresh style. But I guess I'm left confused.
Yeah, Theron, do you have any answers for this cruiserweight conundrum?
The belt looks plastic. That's my first answer.
Thank you for pointing that
but
out.
I know it's not. It's not. Okay, it's cool. It just looks plastic. It looks like a toy belt from Walmart, but that's fine. I don't care about who designed that belt. You guys, I mean, this isn't. I'm not like, cruiserweight to me means like Chris Jericho versus the Iceman Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio when Rey Mysterio was skinny. I mean, it's not what I'm looking at right now. Billy Kidman, remember Billy Kidman? He's fat now, but Billy Kidman back in the day. That's what a cruiserweight is to me. Now, I'm not saying these guys don't have the potential. I got big respect for this dude, Jack Gallagher, the gentleman. His cool pants, and I know he's like a knockoff vaudevillain, but he's way cooler. I don't know why. He just grabbed my attention. But yeah, the 205 Live thing, I was like, what does an area code have to do with wrestling? And I was like, oh, people under 205 pounds. Gotcha. But yeah, they can't like do the stuff that we're used to seeing cruiserweights do. They try, they do some of it, but they can't do all of it because they won't have knees. Jay Perkins, it's hard to get behind the Brian Kendrick. Rich Swann is cool. Now, the most reaction I've seen out of anyone in the cruise when the cruiserweights are on was Monday, and that was mostly people. Like, some people were actually dancing to Rich Swann. I was surprised. Rick or Rich, whatever his name is. I'm sorry.
I always think it's Rick.
They were actually reacting. Rick Swann. They were reacting to him on Monday night. Like, they liked him, and I didn't see that coming. Like, they were dancing. They like his music. I was like, okay, they probably they're feeling like shades of the New Day, which I don't know why people like them still, but people do. So, see, it might die, it might live on. Maybe Grand Metalik comes when he's done with his tour dates and he like shakes it up, or but it's just not what I'm used to, not what I'm feeling. So we'll see what happens.
It's a cruiserweight time in the new like bathroom break almost.
No, it can't be, but it is turning into that.
Especially for the live crowd, man. It feels like, time to get it.
Yeah, it is. It's not the women anymore.
Whoa.
On the women. We did. How are we doing on time? Because we still have a lot of show left.
Oh, no, we do. We're about 24 minutes. So we got about 5 minutes.
Well, let's
for next question, and then we'll
quickly
plug in a little break, and then we'll hit it back.
Yeah, we just have like 2 more matches in Survivor Series to go, I think. I have 3, but we'll hurry up. All right, so The Miz versus Sami Zayn was a match at Survivor Series. Obviously, we know The Miz won. That was another stipulation. If Sami won, the IC title went back to Raw. rumor mill was saying Sami Zayn would win. The reason The Miz won the title was so that for his face match at the pay-per-view. But The Miz won. I think he cheated. I'm pretty sure it was Maurice because that's how he always wins. Do we like Miz's reunion tour? It's like day 24 of the never-ending Intercontinental reunion tour. How do you feel about it?
Once. I said the never-ending tour that's already ended once.
Yes, exactly, that tour. But he's cooler than Dolph Ziggler as the Intercontinental Champion. You know he is.
No, I guess. I hate The Miz. I just don't like The Miz. But it makes sense that he's the Intercontinental Champ because everybody loves to hate him and hate to love him. I just love Dolph Ziggler, and it just sucks that like he poured his heart and soul into this, and then all of a sudden now he just gets punked. So I don't know. I'm indifferent. Whatever. F The Miz.
Yeah, I got really no comment for that. Yeah, it's not.
How do you feel?
I don't hate The Miz because he's a good heel and he's like good on the mic and he's good to be hated, but he's just not really an exciting wrestler. His moveset really sucks, and yeah, I don't know. Him and Dolph Ziggler, they had a ladder match recently too, as well. Looked pretty cool, but yeah, I just don't know. IC title's kind of treading water. I mean, you can't like the ceiling when you have The Miz as your IC champion. It's kind of like there's a cap. You can only go so far. He can't take it very far. I'd like to see him pass the title to someone who could take it a little farther than he can, I guess, maybe. So a young up-and-comer maybe should be his next feud for the IC belt. And then maybe I'll get back interested in that cool white belt.
Like Apollo Crews? Sorry.
No, not Apollo Crews. Anyone but Apollo Crews.
What? We've already soured on Apollo Crews?
I think we saw Apollo Crews the last like 3 episodes.
What the hell happened to Apollo Crews?
Where is he, dude? He's smiling, just like I bet he missed the bus somewhere in some city. He's just sitting out on the curb, just smiling, just waiting for the bus to come back. I mean, poor Apollo Crews.
Oh, poor Apollo Crews. Do we have time?
Next question.
One more Survivor Series, or should we break and then finish the Survivor Series?
A couple minutes, so let's hit another question.
All right. So moving on from The Miz and his real world appearance, he was on the Real World. You guys probably don't remember that. We'll get to the 5-on-5 match, the men's match, Raw versus SmackDown. That match was really cool. There was a lot of cool spots in that match, a lot of awesome moves happening in that match. What did you guys think about SmackDown getting the ultimate victory? Because they lost the first 2 bragging rights matches. They lost a lot of them, but they came out on top in that one. Did you guys like that? Did you not like it? Did you like the way it ended, which I don't remember? But I just know SmackDown won.
I think that was kind of cool because they were kind of like the underdogs. I feel like Raw had a more stacked team, so it was kind of cool to see SmackDown get the final win. And plus, was that Shane McMahon died in that match too? Dude, he totally got a horrible concussion, dude. This is so awkward. He went Roman speared him to hell, and he's totally took the spot wrong. So that was kind of cool. I mean, it's horrible actually because he's a 50-year-old man. He probably shouldn't be wrestling with these guys anymore, but. Yeah, I like that. I think and SmackDown is kind of like the babyface brand. It's kind of like the Daniel Bryan, Shane O'Mac versus Stephanie and Mick. I mean, God, who are you going to root for? Of course, you must root for Shane O'Mac and Daniel Bryan over those two. So it's kind of cool they got the win.
Okay.
Shane O'Mac was killed dead by Roman Reigns for sure. Oh my God! But it was cool to see. Shane O'Mac go after Braun Strowman. That was pretty legit. I do like that SmackDown won, even with AJ getting powerbombed through a mini Shield reunion. That was pretty cool. And I do have to say, I really enjoy that Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton were the last 2. I do have to say something that I think Orton is trying to get in between Harper and Bray. But this also, to kind of jump into a little bit further into Bray's story, this is his first title, which is pretty legit as far as being a tag champ now. But despite that, I think Survivor Series made him look very strong, and I think that's exactly what Bray needs coming off of years of having a really cool gimmick, but totally jobbing all the time, and still having a cool enough gimmick to bounce back and still be a formidable opponent. So I think I really enjoyed that SmackDown one because it's good for the brand that they did win, and they can brag about that. 2, really good for Bray, and also kind of solidifies my buy-in into Orton being in the Wyatt family. And then that Shane O'Mac freaking got speared in the middle of the air and basically like couldn't even get pinned. Like he couldn't move. The ref was like, I'm supposed to like count you out, dude, but this kind of works too because you can't move, dude. Get out of here.
Oh, dude, yeah, man. This needs like a forklift to get him out, man. He was just totally stiff, man. It was so awkward.
So yeah.
Yeah, man. Seeing Bray and Randy be the last guys in the ring was pretty legit. Definitely made them look strong going back to SmackDown Live, which now we see the Wyatt family has actually taken over the tag team division because, a tree falls in the woods, but nobody hears it, man. And that's powerful, man. Like Bray Wyatt's finally like coming full circle. Just keep building on that. I think Randy Orton is trying to get in between him and Harper. There is also the lost sheep of the Wyatt family. Eric Rowan's dealing with an injury, and then I guess Braun Strowman is completely out of the Wyatt family now because they had a spot in that match where like Bray like tried to mind control him, and he started to, and then Braun just was like, nah. But yeah, Roman Reigns killed Shane McMahon. That was cool. I think he concussed him back to reality that he's 50. He's not 30 anymore, so he shouldn't be doing stuff that he's been doing. But hey, props to Shane O'Mac for doing it. And then the Shield reunion. That was legit. Hey, so where do we go with this? But I guess we can't go anywhere because they're on 2 different brands. But the way they did it was so cool. Like you could just see it coming. Like half the time I thought that like Reigns was gonna go heel and like leave Rollins high and dry and like leave the match and become a heel now because everyone hates him anyway. But to see them like stick that match out and lose was cool. And then that Shield reunion was cool. And I like the SmackDown one because they were the underdogs going in. So I thought they booked that match really well. I like the spots in it.
All right. Pretty good consensus.
Word.
Pretty good consensus overall. Let's take a hot break
man.
real quick. I'll just do a live plug for the Bros Before Elbows. You are listening to the Bros Before Elbows pro wrestling show. We are on iTunes. You can subscribe to the show. You just have to look up Bros Before the number 4 Elbows, and you can see all of our episodes, all 4 seasons. Actually, I take that back. I'm pretty sure you can, if not the most recent one, season 3, season 4, that you were able to see. If you do want the archived original OG episodes, I will correct myself here. Those are on YouTube. So we post these shows to YouTube as well. That's kind of our home where we started. And, of course, you can like our Facebook page. You can search Bros Before the number 4 Elbows. And we're also on Twitter, Constant Banter. Follow us on Twitter. Share our tweets, retweet our tweets, share our Facebook posts, like our page, tell your friends about it that enjoy wrestling. Even if they don't watch wrestling all the time or the weekly geeks like we are, have them still check out the podcast. It's fun. Listen to the show when you're doing some chores or on the drive time commute. Maybe when you wake up early in the morning before everybody else does and you kind of just want to giggle a little bit, listen to the show. But anyhow, this is season 4, episode 2, T-Money's at the Reigns. Thanks for listening to the Bros Before Elbows podcast. Let's jump back into another Theron question.
Well, we're finally to the end of Survivor Series. And the headliner for this was Fantasy Turns into Reality. WWE 2K17 came out back in October. with Brock Lesnar on the cover and Bill Goldberg as the character you could get if you pre-ordered the game, which I did none of that because I don't have a game console anyway. But anywho, on ESPN, Bill Goldberg says that if he could come back for one more match, he would fight Brock Lesnar, which then leads to Brock Lesnar saying, why would you want to fight me? Why would you want to pick a fight with the Beast? Or maybe Paul Heyman said it for him. But the point of the matter is we get Bill Goldberg part 2, 15, 16, however many, 12 years in the making. I don't know, whenever they fought last. This match. Going into this match, I remember at the last podcast we said we did not care. I feel like our opinions may have changed. I just want to see what you guys thought as far as how the match came out, how it was played out. Lesnar comes out with his music. He does his Lesnar thing, the build up to the match, all that stuff. And then the, 1 minute and 30 seconds that it lasted. Whoever wants to go first can take it. I'll go last in my reaction. Go ahead.
I was pissed.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Why were you pissed, man?
Dude, come on. You don't spend freaking 3 years building a man to be unfreaking breakable to lose in 1 minute and 29 seconds. The only justification I have for it is Brock Lesnar was cocky. That's it. It's the only justification I can give to the match. The way he looked at Goldberg, but in all honesty, Goldberg is like 500 years old. Hasn't been in the ring for like 600 years. And the dude it's like, oh my God, you literally just forced this win. Like, that's my biggest gripe with WWE is it's forced. Not all the time, but on some like major I don't know. The first thing that comes to my mind, it's like you're really looking forward to eating this steak dinner. And you're like, oh my God, this meal is going to be so good. This steak is going to be so good. And then you see a guy cooking a freaking steak in the microwave. And you're like, what the hell is this? You get it. And you're like, what the? This doesn't make any sense. Like, why? Of all, what? Like, I'm so confused that I don't even have time to process what just happened. What am I eating? Like, what was just fed to me? Like, really? For Goldberg? Goldberg is the guy that takes down a 3-year freaking super mountain of a man? Like, I don't know. I was thinking maybe like Braun Strowman or freaking AJ Styles or like someone that could like put a fight to Lesnar. And Goldberg was just, hey, we need to hype the game. Let's bring him back. He hasn't been in the ring. Let's cater to his needs. The dude's
and his old knees.
and his old knees. Like, let's cater to him. Whatever. Cool. You're gonna win. Do it in 1 minute and 30 seconds because we know you can't. We know you can't last longer than that. Here's a wrestling boner pill, basically, that's only gonna last like 1 minute and 30 seconds. Here's your wrestling Viagra, bro. Do your thing.
Oh, dude, that's got to be the wrestling boner pill. That's got to be the name of the episode.
Somebody needs to tweet that.
Okay, man. I'll tweet that after I get back. I was gonna put a period to Anthony's rant right there. You can't top that. But yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, man. And it was just really weird because I went to cage side seats right afterwards because everyone on Twitter was freaking out and just hated it. And I was like, okay, let me watch the match. And I watched it easily because it was just everyone had like video of it on Twitter. I didn't even have to go to the WWE Network or anything because it was such a short match. And everyone on cage side seat like loved it. I don't know, they were completely marking out for gold. I mean, I guess you'd have to be like the biggest like 1998 hardcore with your AOL email, if your Windows 98 still on your computer operating system, listening to Backstreet Boys
Netscape. That can.
Yeah. That's yeah. You have to be a completely 90s mark to really enjoy that. But even in the 90s, I didn't like Goldberg. So when he came back, I wasn't excited. I was always more into The Rock, The Outsiders, Stone Cold, DX. Goldberg is like not even in my top 10. So like to see him come back, I mean, it was cool to see him come back. They could have had him like run in on a match or do something like that. But to have him in the main event of Survivor Series and then, like Anthony said, beat your beast, like the biggest, baddest mother effort in the whole WWE, who killed The Undertaker, won the title, never got pinned for the title. Just to waste that on Goldberg, a guy who's 50 years old, who never liked wrestling, who just did this for a paycheck to come back so his kids could watch it. It was just such a waste to do that for a video game, to do it for a guy who doesn't care. I mean, Brock Lesnar doesn't care about wrestling either. He just comes for a paycheck too. So I don't, that's not really a big deal, but it was just such a waste. You can't build anything off that. That's like having like Sting come back and
lose to Ellsworth.
Lose to Triple H. Oh, sorry.
No, it's like a Sting come back and like beat AJ Styles in like 1 minute or do something like that or it just made no sense. It was just such a waste. You can't go anywhere with that. I mean, you can have a rematch of Goldberg versus Lesnar and Lesnar should win the rematch, but I don't know. It was just for a cheap pop and just like for like a surprise factor, like the WTF like moment. But yeah, I didn't like it either, man. I just thought it was just a waste. It made Brock Lesnar look corny as hell. So, but I think, hey, if you sell a couple more video game copies, and more power to you, WWE.
This is my evaluation. I'll have to play devil's advocate in this situation because I didn't like it either. But since neither of you liked it and you both ranted on it for like 3 to 10 minutes, I'll just say that I guess, again, man call. I'm pretty sure Paul Levesque was in the back like, hey, let's not do that. And Vince was like, no, this is going to be great. We're going to do it. You know, he probably called Donald Trump about it. They talked about it. I don't know. But not real Donald Trump, Alec Baldwin Donald Trump, the one from SNL. That's probably who he talked to. That's probably who booked this match. Anyway, it was back to 1998. This is the thing. Now that wrestling has crossed over from being, you know, is it real or fake, to it's obviously fake and staged, to there's stories about what happened back in the day. And like, we now know that Goldberg actually could not wrestle. In a wrestler. Steven Regal showed us that. Someone else showed us that too back in the day when he actually wrestled him for more than 5 minutes. And was like, no, we're going to do like 1 minute and 30 seconds. You know, we're going to do it just like he did it back in the day. And for what? I'm not even going to be a devil's advocate. I'm on you guys' side. I tried. It didn't work. Why would you do that? 3 years of Brock Lesnar destroying people. Destroying everybody that stood in his way. Every single person. It was like, if you get into a match with Brock Lesnar, congratulations, you just got your ass kicked and you signed up for it, which you don't have a choice because you're not creative. Take that, and they give it all up for a dude who doesn't even come back like Goldberg from '98 because he actually speaks now and he wants to be a freaking superhero for a kid that's never seen him wrestle. You're telling me that kid doesn't have a freaking Snapchat or like an Instagram or a YouTube where he can look him up, or DVDs? Get out of here. And his wife? How long has he been married to this chick for? No disrespect to his wife, but like, I feel like they wasted that storyline. Like, why would you do that? And then he doesn't even wear the black tights. He wears those stupid black and white tights that they gave him in WWE. And he comes out to the ring and does his whole spiel. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be dope. And then he pushes Lesnar, spears him, supposedly cracks his rib, makes Paul Heyman cry? What?
What?
Whose idea was that? Yeah, that happened. Whenever Heyman did his next segment on Raw, he was crying. Not like fake crying, he was legitimately crying. I don't know why they had him crying. But Lesnar's looking for revenge now, but it's like, how do you bounce back from that? You defeated a streak that was unbreakable, and that match lasted. You took John Cena and beat the face that ran the place into a pulp. 17 German suplexes, or maybe it was more than that. You were the world heavyweight champion who did not get pinned. Put Randy Orton, you put stitches in his head with an elbow, made Chris Jericho freak out, non-kayfabe, and you lose to a dude that's 50 years old, who's never wrestled, who's here for a paycheck. Now what? That's my question. I don't like the way they booked that match. I don't want to see another match. If I do, I hope Lesnar destroys Bill Goldberg in front of his family. Honestly, I want to. That's what I want to see. What the F, Vince McMahon? Now I'm mad.
Well, I think the only way they could. I mean, I just two comments real quick. The thing that makes it worse is that Brock Lesnar, it just came off a UFC win where he came back from the UFC to the UFC after 5 years and won a match and beat a top 10 heavyweight and dominated a dude for 15 minutes. And so Lesnar's the only real legit badass you have on your roster. He's the only guy who could go into an MMA fight and just win and be competitive and look like a legit badass. I mean, some of the wrestlers look like badasses, but you don't know if they can really fight. Brock Lesnar can actually fight, and you made him lose to a 50-year-old man coming off 12 years of non-ring action. It just doesn't make sense. But the only way they could save this is if at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar's beating on Bill Goldberg for 15 minutes, and his wife and kid try to run in and throw the towel or something, and Lesnar just throws the kid off and F5s the kid or something. I don't know. That's the only way you can give Brock Lesnar.
That would be hilarious. One last thing about this: the only thing that Vince McMahon. Oh, what?
Wait, what?
What? You're still on.
I don't know what just happened. I was going to say the only justification for this match, I think back to Mike Tyson losing to Buster Douglas. It was a fluke, but it happened. His head wasn't in the game. Mike Tyson was somewhere else. He was arrogant. He didn't think Buster Douglas stood a chance. He was destroying people. He was ferocious. You know what I'm saying? He was eating people's children or whatever he was saying back in the day, and he loses. Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm.
Style.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm. Ronda Rousey sounded just like Mike Tyson sounded when he got knocked out by Buster Douglas when she got beaten by Holly Holm. Arrogant, cocky, and rightfully so. Brock Lesnar, same thing, with an advocate that felt the same way, and I don't blame them. That was Vince McMahon's angle. Obviously, people on Cage side liked it. If you watch the match, whether they were filling in the sound or not, you hear the Goldberg chants, and I'm just like, why? I don't understand. And I swear, if that dude becomes a champion in the WWE, I will really be pissed off. I will literally write WWE headquarters and say, I'm taking over your creative because you guys are stupid. Stupid idiots, actually.
I'd back.
Topic. My blood's boiling. What?
Where do we go next? What do we talk about?
We're done with Survivor Series. I just got mad because I just revisited that match and how angry I was. I was shocked, but I was angry. I look worse than the dude that was shocked when Lesnar beat The Undertaker. You remember that black dude. Shout out that black dude. Let's move over to Smackdown Live because that's where it goes down. The next pay-per-view that WWE brought to us was the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, which is now exclusive to Smackdown Live. We had some great matches out there. I'm not going to lie to you. I watched it very vaguely. I may or may not have used the fast-forward button to get to the ends of some of the matches because I was just like,
You were watching The Walking Dead, dude. You told me.
Yeah, I was watching it, and I was fast forwarding through TLC because I just wanted to get to the good stuff. Let's see. What? Did you just hold me?
Yeah, I did. I interject. I just got a text message from my buddy Dan, who's listening to the show live right now, and he says, "Your buddy is totally wrong about Lesnar and Goldberg." He said, "Put me on the show. I'll show him what's what."
Whoa!
Hold up, huh?
What? Me? Why is he coming at me? You guys said the same freaking thing.
Get him on the show.
I don't know. Just say I keep
We'll
texting you. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let them keep live tweeting.
Yeah,
Live
live
texting.
tweet this.
Oh
Live
my
text
gosh.
for the show.
So are we still talking about Lesnar and Goldberg? Like,
No,
really?
I just had to interject because I was like, oh man, he's listening to the show and he's trying to call you out.
Bill Goldberg's like 55, man. That's all I got to say. But yeah, so opening match at TLC was the tag team title match. The new Wyatt family versus Beauty and the Man Beast, Heath Slater and Rhino. Oh, the match ended with the Wyatts once again. Somebody getting sacrificed to pick up the win. Luke Harper takes a spear outside from the Man Beast, which then confuses the team. And then, Orton slides in, slips in the RKO after Wyatt does his cool upside down Spider-Man. Thoughts, comments, go. Do you like it? By the way, they're going to defend the titles Freebird style like the New Day.
Oh, nice.
Go.
That's cool. It's about time. It's about time the Wyatt family got a title push, man. They've been on the main roster for like over 3 years, and somehow Bray Wyatt hasn't held a singles title. This is horrible, man. Like, think of all the crappy people that have held title belts in the time Bray Wyatt has not held any WWE gold. So, if they want to start with the tag team titles and do where Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton can all defend the titles at once or rotate it, that's cool, man. That gives some life into the SmackDown tag team division. So I support that. I want to see where this goes, and any push that Bray Wyatt gets, I'm fully behind because he's still one of the most interesting characters, despite getting pinned, despite getting dominated by The Rock at WrestleMania, despite losing like every feud he's been in since the John Cena feud 2 years ago. I still support Bray Wyatt because he's still like an interesting character. So good for the Wyatt family.
To add to what Tommy just said, yes, I'm glad and happy that Bray now is a title holder. Pisses me off that Santino Marella is like a 9-time U.S. champ and has like more titles than Bray. It kind of cheeses me off a little bit. But what I do love about Bray Wyatt is and I said it before on the podcast too, that his character can come back from losses. And it sucks because we want to see him win all the time. But he kind of is that like dark, mysterious character that can bounce back from many feuds and many losses, and he still has a following. I love that the Freebird rule or whatever they call it is alive and well. That's really sweet. Because that is cool. Because if you have a 3-man faction, and I do like that 3-man factions are like the thing now, the trios. Super sweet. So super cool that the Wyatt family is the tag champs. I'm glad that Bray Wyatt is now on the up and up. Kind of sad that Heath Slater and Rhino aren't the champs, but then again, I'm like, it couldn't last forever. It was a great gimmick. Heath Slater gets his contract. Everybody loves him. Now he's like an actual contender. He's not just jobbing. So I think that's pretty sweet. But I gotta say, I'm digging the Wyatt family. I'm digging the up and up. I'm glad that Bray is getting his just desserts.
Tick tock, tick tock. You guys knew it was only a matter of time before Bray Wyatt ascended to WWE Gold or Silver SmackDown Live Tag Team titles, because they are silver. Or maybe it's platinum. I don't really know, man. I do know that the Fireflies are alive and that this is a great story to start off the rise of Bray Wyatt. What does suck is that Santino Marella was a 9-time U.S. champion. Won his first, even though he's hilarious, won his first piece of gold in his debut match on WWE. Wins the Intercontinental title. One of the most prestigious titles held in the history of the company. When Bray Wyatt, 3 years in, still has had no singles title. The world champion? I do believe so. The Wyatt family, though, This is just the beginning, man. I like it. I like what they're doing with it. Hopefully it spins off into like the Wyatts dominating SmackDown Live for a taste and getting the gold. I mean, it's going to be hard because you got AJ Styles, who is truly phenomenal in the ring. He carries matches. He does great stuff. But this is a big moment. This is Bray Wyatt's first piece of gold. But he can bounce back from things of this nature because he's that guy. He was like Mick Foley when Mick Foley was Mankind, when Mick Foley was Cactus Jack, before he had any titles, more twisted and deranged, man. Like he's like twisted up there, right? That character's perfect. And that's gonna be a hard three-man weave to stop though. I mean, you got Luke Harper, you got the Viper who RKO's out of nowhere, and you got Bray Wyatt. And the thing is, the crowd likes each one of those people individually. So it's finally culminated. I do feel sorry for Beauty and the Man Beast because, I mean, Heath Slater's got kids, and the Rhino, he was trying to become the governor of Minnesota like Jesse Ventura or whatever he was doing. Detroit. It was Detroit. I'm sorry. It's sad for them, but you need that heel faction again because you got the young American Alpha who's obviously going to be coming up and getting those titles eventually. So yeah, I like it. I like what they did with it. Definitely.
All right. Well, we got time for one more question.
One more question. Well, we got to talk about James Ellsworth. I mean, what else would we talk about?
Ellsworth.
Duh.
Yeah.
We're gonna skip Alexa Bliss as the champion. No need to say anything. Just understand that she's the Wicked Witch of the WWE, and she is on top now. We're gonna skip that.
Becky Lynch lost. I'm in love with Becky Lynch. I don't
know why. She sounds like a man.
Okay, let's not. That's a different debate for a different time.
I'm sorry, Becky Lynch.
I love Becky Lynch. If you're listening to this show, Becky Lynch, I love you. You're rad.
Jack, your friend Dan's listening to the show. He's like,
cool. Alexa Bliss, I love you.
Oh, crazy. No, but James Ellsworth, dude, all I'm going to say is this. And my buddy Dan has brought this up too. Because right after, he's like, dude, did you watch Talking Smack right after TLC? And I was like, no, dude, my freaking WWE network cuts out and stops right as freaking James Ellsworth shows up on Talking Smack. So I'm like, well, great, WWE Network. Thanks again for your excellent, superior service. I'm paying $10 a month for or whatever. But no, man, he let the power go to his head. He's totally believing that he beat AJ Styles 3 times, and now he's going after the 4th. So it's a great story for him. And he even said, too, that he would make Dean his first opponent. But I don't know where it's going to go because I could see maybe Dean helps Ellsworth out. I mean, tonight is SmackDown. Tonight's the fight. I mean, it probably already happened, but not having seen the show, my prediction is maybe Dean helps Ellsworth win the title just so Dean can get the title from Ellsworth and get it back. That's one angle that I have. But the idea is that Ellsworth let the fame go to his head, dude. He freaking picked up speed and screwing up fast.
Tommy, you watched SmackDown. Second of all, your reaction to James Ellsworth.
Man, I'll watch any show that James Ellsworth is on. He's such a good character, man. But my initial reaction when I heard he turned heel, I was like, man, that's just. They had the WWE had the perfect lovable baby face in their hands, the perfect little doe-eyed little bird who can't fly. You push James Ellsworth out of the nest, he falls down off the tree and breaks all his limbs. And that was just the perfect little character you could root for, man. And then they turned him heel. But I think now that I heard you guys talking about it and I see more stuff, read more about it, I guess I can dig it. I thought he was the perfect baby face, perfect lovable dorky baby face that didn't never have to turn heel because I don't know if he could play heel, but if he's just a dumbass, just walking around getting beat up by Dean Ambrose, check out our Twitter at Bros Before Elbows. there's a GIF out there of something that happened between Dean Ambrose and James Ellsworth, and this is like the best GIF on the internet right now, best GIF or whatever, however you want to pronounce it. It's just a perfect little GIF that sums up what the love for James Ellsworth and how he's a really good pro wrestler, and he doesn't even know it. He's so oblivious that I still want to root for him even if he's a heel. So I just want to see where they take this. I like this triangle between AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, and James Ellsworth. And who would have thought 3 or 4 months ago that we'd be talking about a feud between James Ellsworth, AJ Styles, and Dean Ambrose? Like, what a dynamic trio that is.
I like
this GIF right now.
The reactions to James Ellsworth. Anthony, what are you saying? You Mick Foley and me again? I am the commissioner. You will respect me as the GM right here tonight, Carolina, as I put my thumb up and smile because I don't have any teeth. But anyway, Mick Foley always does that. I think it's funny when he like makes matches and says right here tonight in Charlotte, North Carolina. Anyway, James Ellsworth, great story. The irony is that one of our podcasts in the beginning of this season, we asked the question, is James Ellsworth marketable? Can he become a WWE superstar? And look how far he's come. Ellsworth, brother Ellsworth. So he's here. I don't know if he's a heel though, like delusional. They're not playing him as like delusional heel. You know, I'm at the pay-per-view. I'm like, yo, Ambrose is about to win the title completely because Undertaker fight Styles and win the title, and then Cena's supposed to come back and get his like 17th title at WrestleMania, which they shouldn't do because Cena's turning into The Rock. So if they do that, yeah. Whoa. So to give you the answer to SmackDown Live, I miss most of SmackDown Live. Because my DVR is not I don't have the Genie. I got the old school DVR, so I couldn't record SmackDown because other stuff was recording that I didn't record. All I know is that Dean Ambrose like came out to the ring with Ellsworth in there, like with the dirty deeds because he's pissed, right? Ellsworth cost him the title. Like Dean was like reaching for it, and Ellsworth just pushes the ladder over Dean through tables, and like Styles wins. And then I was like, oh, there's 20 minutes of the show left. The Undertaker's going to come out. They're going to build that. But no, that 20 minutes was Talking Smack, which I did not watch because my WWE network went out. But anyway.
I did that to you too.
I don't know. So wait, weren't they supposed to have a world title match tonight between Ellsworth and AJ Styles? Do either of you know what happened there? Because the main event was Dean Ambrose versus The Miz for the Intercontinental title, which once again, James Ellsworth came down to the ring, tried to like say that Maurice was helping The Miz, but then he cost Ambrose the match. Then he like ran away like a little baby. So yeah, Ellsworth is like a little bird. He does kind of look like a bird with no limbs. But I'm interested to see where they go with this now. They might be moving away from Ambrose in the world title picture. He has lost to Styles, once or twice. If Ellsworth got his title, I thought he was getting it tonight.
No idea. It's on right now. If you have DirecTV, you get the earlier.
Oh.
Comcast has the whatchamadugan, a later feed, so like 8 o'clock it starts. So it's like an hour and a half into it right now. So I personally have no idea, but I did just watch the GIF from the @BrosBeforeElbows on Twitter, and that is perfect. That by far wins the internet. That is so great. Cool. Well, I think I don't know if anybody else has any more comments.
No, let's wrap it up, man. Let's save it for the next show, I think.
All right. Well, what I'll wind up doing is post some of the things that we talked about on our Facebook page. Try to get some more love to that page throughout the week. If you've listened to the show, rad. Hey, thanks, Dan, for checking it out, dude. Super cool. And anybody else who is listening too. But we'll do some engagement on Facebook. Of course, follow us on Twitter. Search Bros Before the number 4 Elbows. Be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes and check us out on YouTube and Podbean, all those places. Just search for us. Thanks for listening to the Bros Before Elbows. pro wrestling show.
Elbow drop your friends, people.
Very good.
Very good.
Yes. Are you going to take us off the air now?
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Tree.
We're doing it.
Whoa.